Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it's me again, MrFonrath, talking about Dragon Age again. Jesus, this guy just doesn't shut the fuck up. With Dragon Age the Veilguard close to releasing on October 31st, I believe, I thought for this video I would go over some of my thoughts, some of my wishes, and some of my predictions, maybe. Hopefully. Basically, it's like a wish list video. Right? Things that I hope to be in the game. Basically, I'm just gonna spitball some ideas, talk about some things that I really wish we will see in the next game, and, see where it goes. I mean, I want to talk about things that I enjoy, and, Dragon Age is a big topic right now. Number 1, long hairstyles. Now, those of you who have played Dragon Age, all the games basically, especially Inquisition, the previous one, will know, most likely, and if you don't know yet, you will now, and you will never unsee this. But there are zero, nada, long hairstyles in the game. Not for you, not for the NPCs, no one. Let me just put this here. There is no long hairstyles in the game. There just aren't. Now, some NPCs have long hair, quote unquote, but their hair is like up in a bun or like some sort of like hairstyle that is still short hair. Now this is because they didn't have, I would assume, they didn't have hair physics. And the hair physics, because the hair would clip through the armor and the clothing, they just kind of didn't have any long hairstyles. Now, personally, even in Dragon Age Origins, a game that came out in fucking 2006, I want to say, 2006, 2008, something. They had semi-long hairstyles there, and, me having played the game multiple times, obviously, I have used mods. I've gotten multiple long hairstyles in all these games, and it looks completely fine. Even if it clips through some of the clothing, some of the armor, it's like, I would rather have that long hair and look good in the cutscenes and the cinematics than not have long hair, because I'm afraid that it will clip through the armor or whatever. Have long hairstyles in this game. It needs to have long hairstyles. Now, jumping off of this, number 2, hair physics. Well, actually, I suppose we can hair and body physics. Now, we are way past the era of no physics, okay? Newer games, in my opinion, newer games, if you're doing a third-person, create your own character type of game, or any kind of like, you're controlling a character in third-person mode, hair physics is a must-have. Skyrim modding has hair physics, okay? They've done hair physics in Skyrim through modding. Straight up. I actually saw I think, Twitter post, someone talking about how, there was a GTA 6 trailer, and they were, pointing out small mistakes or something. Most of the quote-unquote mistakes were complete bullshit, and people were, for good reason, making fun of them. But one of them was that the character, who was on a car, with no roof, right, convertible, on the road at high speeds, and the hair wasn't really flowing correctly, or there wasn't a lot of hair physics on the hair, and people were kind of making fun of this. But I thought to myself, I agree, I 100% agree. What the fuck? 100% you need to have hair physics. We're talking about GTA 6 here. Of course you're gonna need hair physics and body physics, obviously. So yeah, at this point, I would say you cannot, we're way past the point of no physics, okay? Physics improves the game by a huge amount, massive amount. And once you go physics in Skyrim modding, for instance, you will never go back, okay? You will not be able to play Skyrim if they update it or something, and most of your mods broke, and your physics don't work anymore. You're not going to be able to play that game anymore because you're so not used to having no physics. So yeah, hair body physics. Number 3, enemy variety. Is that how you spell it? Enemy variety. Before we saw the gameplay reveal and the trailers and whatnot, I would have said, give us more abilities. I would have said, bring back the hotbar, right? The taskbar for your abilities, like in Dragon Age Origins or Dragon Age 2, right? Or any kind of RPG game where you have like a massive amount of abilities on your hotbar. I would have said that, but obviously we already know that they're doing the 3 ability thing, right? Now, to make sure that that doesn't get super boring, you need to have enemy variety. Very much like Dragon's Dogma should have had, or Dragon's Dogma 2 should have had enemy variety, right? If you're not allowing the player all kinds of options to change up how they play the game, you need to make sure that the game changes what they throw at you, basically. The point at the end of the day is so that the game doesn't get boring. Number 4, likable companions. Now, likable is a very kind of broad word. Likable could mean a lot of things. Let's add a little like attractive, kind / friendly, interesting background, and maybe just kind of fun. So these are some of the small things that I think a likable companion should have. They should be attractive. They should be kind, friendly. They don't always have to be kind, like for instance Morrigan in Dragon Age Origins, but they need to be friendly, right? Morrigan might have been a little bit kind of cunty, okay, but ultimately she was still friendly when it came down to it. Like, you need to be able to feel the friendliness, right? Morrigan might have been a fucking douchebag sometimes, but, you know, at the end of the day, you could kind of tell that she kind of had a heart of gold, right? Interesting background. Now, this could be a lot of things. This could be just an interesting story, maybe interesting quest line. But in general, they just need to be kind of fun. They need to be likable. And all of these things, right? All of these things help give the character, the companion, a likable personality. So yeah, likable companions. Moving on, we have number 5, better story than Inquisition. So in Inquisition, in the Trespasser DLC, sure, it was good. Yes, it was definitely good. And most people are hoping that it will continue to be just as good. And so am I. But that was a DLC, right? I'm hoping, because that's the thing, right? A lot of the time, not always, but a lot of the time, movies are better than shows, because sometimes having a shorter story, a more compact storyline, just is better than dragging it out over thousands of episodes. So that's why I say better story than Inquisition, because Inquisition's story was just kind of shit. Problem with Inquisition's story was that the story just kind of came out of nowhere, and the villain was not only a villain that we had already seen previously in Dragon Age 2, actually. I think it was in the DLC of Dragon Age 2. But also, the villain was just so, like, he was just being evil for the sake of being evil. Now, obviously, Solus is going to be much better in that regard, but ultimately, I'm hoping for a better story than Inquisition. Number 6, smaller-ish map/locations. Now, a lot of people would like the game to be kind of linear, almost like Dragon Age Origins type, and they don't really like how big Inquisition was. Right? Some of the locations were way too big, and I agree. I definitely agree. And so I think what they should do is have kind of like the Inquisition, but like make the areas a little bit smaller, right? But still, it should still be kind of open world-ish. Moving on, number 7. Not a lot of loading screens. Obviously, loading screens have been a big topic for a lot of people. Especially, you know, recently with Starfield, and let's just say loading screens are not that fun anymore, right? I mean, they were never fun, but still, you know, they're not as acceptable anymore. No, the thing with loading screens is, for instance, Dragon Age Origins, right? In Dragon Age Origins, they, even though the locations were not that big, they still managed to have you do a lot of things in those locations. So, like, you would spend, let's say, I don't know, like 30 minutes to an hour in each location, especially earlier, right, in the earlier part of the game, right? They would essentially, even though the locations are small, they would have you spend a lot of time in these locations so you don't actually feel how small they actually are. Now, if they can do that in Veilguard, then great, but you definitely don't want to do the thing where you have a lot of loading screens, like Starfield. Number 8, have something like the camp. Have something like the camp in DAO. What does this mean? So in Dragon Age Origins, basically in Dragon Age Origins or in Baldur's Gate 3, they have this, they have the camp mechanic of like a camp where all your companions, you and your companions are there, right, like resting together, and they're kind of all in the same location, right? Now, in Dragon Age Inquisition, for instance, whenever you were in your like home location, all these characters were just kind of in their different locations, like in their different corners of the location, right, of the home, because the home area, the camp, was way too big, and so all these characters were kind of in their own rooms, in their little corners on the map somewhere, not really ever seemingly interacting with each other. So you want to have, in my opinion, having a camp or some sort of location, small location, where everyone is together would be really cool. And I think that is preferable, because when it comes to the ability to roleplay, you want to at least feel like your companions are, I mean, I don't want to say your friends, but like your companions kind of know each other as well, not just you, right? Like it's not just you going to talk to these people, these NPCs, these companions, but rather they talk to each other as well. It actually like it definitely adds to the immersion and the roleplay element. Essentially, I'm hoping that they don't do what Inquisition did, where they just kind of have all the companions in their own rooms, in their own little corner somewhere on the map, not ever doing anything or interacting with anyone. Number 9. And this is kind of something that a lot of people have already suspected. Kill Varric. A lot of people are assuming from the trailer and whatnot that they're going to kill Varric. Don't have him as a companion. Companion, yes. Don't have him as a companion. Period. Enough said. Let's think a little bit more about companions. I'm kind of indifferent about bringing back previous characters as companions. I'd honestly prefer... Oh, actually, there is one thing that I would like to see. Give Leliana closure. Now, Leliana, obviously my favorite character, favorite companion. I would really love, and this is just a personal one, right? This is just a personal preference, hope. But I would really just love to have like some sort of ending to Leliana, right? Just in general, you know, some sort of happy ending. I would love to have some of these like, I guess you could say like legacy characters, or like, you know, these Dragon Age Origins fan favorite characters to get some sort of closure. Basically what I'm hoping is, if they're gonna bring back Morrigan, which they, I mean, it's pretty much being confirmed, hopefully they bring back Leliana as well, and maybe Alistair, the fan favorites, and I don't know, just give them some sort of closure. Like, don't kill them, don't do some bullshit, but like, you know, just give them, maybe at the very end of the game, you know, when the credits are rolling, right? Give them some sort of like small thing saying, oh, they went their separate ways, they went to live with their loved ones or whatever. You know, just something to kind of finish off their story. Number 11, I'd say, let's say, bring back attributes. So, in Dragon Age Origins, for instance, they had like skill attributes, right? You level up, you get attribute points that you can then put to whatever you want. Strength, dexterity, so on and so forth. And most RPGs do this. And I really hope that they bring this back. You know, they're gonna do their 3 ability thing, combat, right? But like, at least bring back attributes. Even fucking, you know, Souls-like games where they don't have a lot of like abilities or anything like that, right? Even they do attributes. Like, come on, like, do attributes, right? Bring back attributes. Ooh, okay, another one that I remember. Something I hope they definitely change from Inquisition, and something that I really didn't like in Inquisition was have the main quest line take you through all the locations. So in Inquisition, you didn't, like, there were a bunch of locations, and this is maybe it doesn't have to take you through all of the locations, but the majority of them definitely should. So basically, the main quest line should be the one that determines where you're going in terms of the locations. Now, you can have maybe some options, like, you know, like Dragon Age Origins did, where you have the option of like, okay, who do you go recruit first? Do you go recruit the mages? Do you go recruit the elves? Do you go recruit the dwarves? You don't know, right? And you have to make a choice. And you can kind of, you know, choose where to go first and so on and so forth. However, all of these choices are part of the main quest line. In reality, the main quest line is taking you to all these locations, because that's your main quest, to go talk to all these people in different locations, right? So the main quest line, I feel like, needs to be the thing that drives you forward to these locations for a good reason, right? In Inquisition, there were a bunch of these locations that are just on the map, but you have no reason to ever even go there. It's basically just for exploration, and it's so, like, you want the main quest line to push your exploration further, because no one wants to really explore for absolutely no reason. You need to have a reason to explore. Character creation lighting. I remember that Inquisition had horrible character creation lighting. Basically, you would create your character in the creator, and then it looks good there, but then you go into the actual game, and your character like starts talking and moving, and, you know, in a cutscene, and it looks fucking disgusting and gross and just bad. There should be, in character creation, there should be another thing where, you know, you can test the speech of the character, the mouth movements, right? Because I remember I had to, when I was replaying Inquisition a few years ago, I was spending a lot of time in the character creation, and I made a character that looked really good. I really liked it, right? Bear in mind, there's no way to save, at least there wasn't back then. Maybe they changed it, I don't know. But there was no way to save your character, right? The preset of your character. I mean, maybe there is, but as far as I know, there isn't. And so when I thought that the character looked good, right, I was like, okay, finally, I'm good to go, right? I go into the game, and you know what happens? My character starts speaking, and the lip is like clipping through the fucking teeth or something. The lips were like clipping through somehow, or through each other or something. Something really, really weird, and just like I can't play like this, right? I can't look at that. It's like when the character is not saying anything, the character looked completely good, right? But the moment the character started speaking, then it was like, So have the ability to test out like movement and mouth flapping on your character in the character creation, and have better lighting, so you can actually see whether or not your character looks good in different types of lighting. Number 14. Be serious. I hope that they don't go too much into the Marvel cinematic type, you know, like we're constantly making jokes, or we're constantly being not that serious because we want to be kind of like funny and quirky and like hip with the times. We're talking about a fantasy world here. I don't want to hear people constantly being jokey and non-serious, right? If it's a serious moment, be serious. I'm kind of looking at some stuff on Reddit. I know, right? I'm basically looking at what people said 4 years ago, what they wanted in the next Dragon Age game. And one of the things I read here is get rid of the war table. And honestly, I fully agree. Get rid of the war table. The war table idea is just kind of annoying. Kind of pointless and unnecessary. Don't do anything like the war table where you have to like, I don't know, like tick boxes. Without mods, you have to actually wait in like real time. Like what the fuck is that? Obviously, if you're playing Inquisition, I really recommend getting the mod that finishes the war table missions immediately, instantly. Otherwise, it's just kind of annoying. Ooh, yes. Another one I see that is very good. Number 16, proper PC controls. Yes, I cannot play or stand any game that is a third-person game, like controlling a character in the third-person camera view mode, and people saying I need to play this with a controller. That is I cannot stand games that are designed for controller play when you're doing a third-person mode game. Third-person camera games are for PC, keyboard and mouse. Why? Because WASD, you control your character, and with the other hand, you're controlling the camera, so you can move to the left, look to the right at the same time. When there's a movement and camera control, it is keyboard and mouse. So any kind of game where you're moving your camera and you're moving your character at the same time, that's for keyboard and mouse. Car games, like driving games, and games like Rocket League, for instance, they are good with controller because you have a lot better control and you don't really need to move your camera that much anyway because the camera kind of moves automatically. But games like GTA or any kind of like third-person game, like honestly, I don't understand how people can stand playing Dark Souls or Elden Ring with a controller. It is so fucking weird. I've always played with a keyboard and mouse. I have no problem with it at all. So I really hope that proper PC controls is a thing. I'm hoping that they make the game for PC players, not necessarily for controller players. Like, for instance, imagine playing Baldur's Gate 3 with a controller. That's like, what the fuck are you doing? I know you can, but like, Jesus Christ. One person says, combat finishers. Now, I do think it would add some nice, flourish to the game for the combat, but it depends on how you do it, right? You don't want to necessarily be stuck in animation all day when you're finishing off enemies, but it would still be cool. I think I would rather want to have them than not have them. Companion interaction while out of base camp. Yeah, true. That's good. Ooh, I just thought of something. And this is very, very important. I can't believe I almost forgot this. This is probably one of the most important things that need to be in this game. Need to be. There is no two ways about it. This needs to be in the game or the game will fail. Hard. Okay? Cinematic camera angles for conversations. Like Baldur's Gate 3 recently did, right? Or like Dragon Age Origins did, or Dragon Age 2 did. Now, Inquisition, as good of a game as that is, they did not do the cinematic camera angles for conversations. I don't know why. They just kind of didn't do it. Holy shit, the zoom in is so fucking bad. Do cinematic camera angles for conversations. This is non-negotiable. This is 100% a massively important priority for this game. If you do not have cinematic camera angles for conversations, and I mean all conversations, not just some, all of them, your game will not be good. Look at Baldur's Gate 3, look at every other good RPG, even Dragon Age Origins, right? All the conversations that are not like just a random NPC that has no dialogue or anything. Like even the previous Dragon Age games like Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2, any conversation that was more than one sentence from the NPC was a cinematic camera angle conversation. Now in Baldur's Gate 3, for instance, I think even the one sentence conversations where, you know, you talk to someone and they say one sentence to you and then it's over, even those were cinematic camera angles, right? The reason this is so important is because this makes you care more about random NPCs. And no, the whole Elder Scrolls, like, zoom into their face type of shit, that's not cinematic camera angles, okay? Cinematic camera angles are, I mean, if you look at Baldur's Gate 3 or Dragon Age Origins or Dragon Age 2, like, you immediately know what I'm talking about. Like, this is one of the most important things to have in this game, in Dragon Age the Veilguard. But yeah, I mean, these are some of the most important things, I think. I'm sure I'm missing some. I'm sure I'm forgetting some things that I would like, but I think actually we'll add long hairstyles among a lot of hairstyles. Don't just do like, oh, we have 3 versions of bald, 3 versions of like very short hair, 3 versions of kind of short medium hair, and then 3 versions of kind of somewhat longer medium hair. It's like, no. Have at least like 24 to 30 hairstyles, and they're very, very different from each other. Oh, and maybe add a little extra here. Boob slider for character creation. For character creator. And that's about it, I think. But yeah, these are just some of the things that I hope to see in Dragon Age the Veilguard. I doubt most of these things will be as good as I hope them to be. Like, I would imagine probably the hair body physics is not going to be that like advanced. I doubt there's going to be a lot of long hairstyles. I doubt the companions are going to be as likable as I would like them to be. I doubt the story is going to be that much better than Inquisition. I mean, I don't know about attributes, maybe. Who knows? Ultimately, all we can do is hope. Hope that the game will satisfy. Until next time.